Newsfirst at 9.
Good evening, this is Primetime Weekend News.
I'm Ramesh Bandara.
And I'm Sonali Vanigabadike.
Let's start off with a look at the headlines tonight.
Headlines on Newsfirst at 9.
Fishermen warn not to set out to sea as several coastal areas may receive heavy rainfall of up to 150 millimeters. Ministry of Fisheries says that no information has come to light about the fishermen reported missing after a cyclone. Farmers inconvenience as water levels of reservoirs decline. New boundaries of paddy fields in the Mahaveli B zone cause further tensions.
Newsfirst at 9.
Starting off with one of your lead stories for tonight, the Department of Fisheries has warned fishermen to refrain from setting out to sea from the coasts of Galle to Jaffna via Batticaloa due to an atmospheric disturbance.
Well, the Met Department says that the respective coastal areas will receive rainfall up to 150 millimeters during the course of the day.
Porterville received a rainfall of 87.3 millimeters, reportedly the highest rainfall received in the 24-hour period that concluded at 8 this morning. Gampaha received a rainfall of 68.6 millimeters, while Colombo received a rainfall of 60.6 millimeters. The Department of Meteorology said that there will be showers or thunder showers in the northern, eastern and Uva provinces, while thunder showers will develop in most areas during the afternoon or night. Fishermen from a number of areas refrained from setting out to sea due to the inclement weather. This was the situation at the Galle Fisheries Harbour today. Fishermen from Tangol also had their vessels beached on the coast. According to Newsfirst reporters, fishermen from Kalawanchikudi, Kalladi and Dondra Head had also refrained from setting out to sea. Meanwhile, the Department of Meteorology said that as gale force winds can prevail, fishermen need to refrain from setting out to the ocean. Because of the cloud system in the eastern seas, coastal areas from Galle to Jaffna via Hambantota and Batticaloa will receive intermittent showers or thunder showers. The gale force winds from the northeast will travel at speeds between 40 km per hour and 45 km per hour. However, the wind speeds may increase to 80 km per hour and therefore the seas from Galle to Jaffna via Batticaloa will turn rough. Sea areas in the other parts of the island may also turn rough as a result.
Incidentally, that is how fishermen setting out to the open seas are warned of approaching inclement weather.
That's right. The Department of Fisheries says no information has come to light as yet regarding the fate of the 8 fishermen who were reported missing after they were caught up in Cyclone Behar in the Bay of Bengal. Minister of Fisheries Dr. Rajitha Senaratna says that search operations are still underway.
Now, Navy Media spokesperson Commander Kosala Varnakulusura says that although the International Ocean Rescue Center in Chennai has been informed of the missing fishermen, no response has been received as yet.
A group of fishermen had set out to sea on the 20th of October aboard the multi-day trawler Priyachami. There were 6 fishermen aboard the vessel and their last contact with land was on the 24th of last month. The vessel had run into problems in Indian seas 450 nautical miles off the coast of Trincomalee.
It's been 42 days since he set out to sea. I have been visiting various places to see if I can obtain any information about his whereabouts. I'm finding it difficult to feed my children. They said that they will try a new code in 3 days. Our husbands are out in the sea. I doubt they know about this new code. We don't want anything. Please bring them back. I'm only a mother. I'm not a father. My child needs his father.
Deputy Minister of Fisheries Sarath Kumar Gunaratna says that arrangements have been made for an official from the Department of Fisheries to visit the families of the missing fishermen at Dondra Head. He added that 8 fishermen who were rescued in the southern seas will return to the island tomorrow.
A number of occasions where fishermen have disregarded warnings from the Met Department. Loss of life, damage to vessels, missing fishermen and vessels. Over 50 fishing boats damaged in Jaffna and Mullaitivu. 8 fishermen reported missing.
If there has been a mistake on the part of the Fisheries Department, appropriate action will be taken.
Deputy Minister of Fisheries. Shouldn't fishermen and authorities reach a consensus in order to safeguard the lives of fishermen? A reminder to prevent further loss of life. Prevention is better than cure.
Welcome back. You're with News First. Now, in spite of the heavy rainfall in coastal areas, the lack of rain in agricultural areas, including the North Central Province, has caused the Department of Irrigation to limit water supplied for the cultivation of the Maha season.
Director General of the Department of Irrigation, Bandara Kamaladas, says that water levels of reservoirs coming under the purview of the department are at a low level.
Cultivation for the Maha season has already commenced in most districts including Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa and Ampara. The receding water levels of reservoirs have severely inconvenienced farmers whose crops are dependent on the water supplied by these reservoirs. The Director General of the Department of Irrigation, Bandara Kamaladasa, says that the water levels of reservoirs coming under the purview of the department are at between 35 and 40% on average.
What we can say about the scarcity of water is that if we do not receive rain for the next month, it will be extremely difficult for us to release water for agricultural purposes. The irrigation engineers and the farmers are working together to formulate a plan to release water once in every 5 days. At present, water is being released based on the agreements that have been reached.
Farmers allege that the collection of silt in reservoirs and mismanagement has caused this issue. If the reservoirs were dug up and plans made before, then we would not be at this pass. They started digging the reservoirs after releasing the water that was there. Our reservoirs are filled with silt. The same fate has befallen the Tissavawa, the Nuravava and the Basawa Kulumavawa. At the Newsfirst Gum at the program held in Polonnaruwa, farmers brought this issue to the attention of the authorities. It would be good if the time frame was extended by a month and renovation work undertaken. Otherwise, crops that have been cultivated could be destroyed. Farmers also point out that although attention has been drawn towards the upliftment of the rural agriculture sector through the 2014 budget, this could be disrupted given the present situation.
This is News First Primetime News. Time now for Action TV.
The lifeless body of a farmer who for 26 years had faithfully cultivated his land was discovered in his paddy field on the night of the 17th of last month. While no one can know the true cause of this farmer's suicide, the cause that was cited by his family and other farmers was brought to the attention of authorities by Action TV, since this has also caused tensions to arise among the agrarian community in the Mahaweli B zone. The lifeless body of the farmer was discovered near the new boundary markers on the paddy field that he had cultivated for over 2 decades. New boundaries are being demarcated on paddy fields in the Mahaweli B zone with the intention of providing the farmers currently cultivating these lands with deeds giving them outright ownership of their land. As a result of the fresh surveying of the paddy lands, a significant proportion of land that had been cultivated by the farmers has been lost to them, and a number of paddy fields without owners have been created. Mahaweli officials are distributing these newly created paddy lands among individuals selected by them. Farmers who have been affected by this are now being made to waste their time by visiting the Mahaweli office and the police station day in and day out. Death has been brought to 3 or 4 farmers already. One died of a heart attack. It is the officials that are responsible for this. When we take letters to the Mahaweli office to rectify the matter, they send us to the police. When we go to the police, they send us back to the Mahaweli office. We are running in circles. If the officials were paid to do the resurveying, then why can't they correct it? We have to take the deeds and go to court. Do we look like people who can afford lawyers in courts? It was the government that settled people in the Mahaweli zones, and it is the government's responsibility to rectify the matter. A letter addressed by the Director General of the Mahaweli Authority to the resident project manager of the Mahaweli B Zone on the 25th of September proves that this matter has been subject to discussion in the Parliament Advisory Committee. Although this letter informs the manager that as per the decision of the committee, the farmers are to be allowed to continue cultivation within the old boundaries, the tensions that have arisen around the demarcation of paddy fields in the B Zone bear testament to the utter disregard shown to this order by officials of the Mahaweli B Zone.
එලිම නීති අනුකූල මහින්දකම් මහින්දාට එපා කියලා මම ඊයේ කියලා ගිලාවේ. එහෙනම් මහවැලියම කරනකොට එයාට එන්න බරදී නිවාසී බල මහත්තයා තමයි එක්කෙන්නේ වෙන්නේ. නිවාසී බල තමයි එන්න කියන්නේ. අර පැත්තේ කොටා කර උඩ පුරෙන් අඩු කරා. මේ පුරෙන් අඩු කරා. අඩු කරලා සල්ලිකාර මිනිස්සුන්ට තමයි ඒක පුරේ හේතු කරන්නේ. අපිට මහවැලියම හේතු කරනවා. දැන් නැති අපිට කීපිට අපි කරේ මහවැලියගේ.
Shouldn't steps be taken to immediately rectify the tension that has been caused as a result of these new boundaries among people who for close to 3 decades have worked together in harmony? Minister of Irrigation and Water Resource Management, this is over to you.
Now, the fourth estate or the media is only accountable to the citizenry.
Across the world, provision has been made in fundamental law for the freedom of the media, a tenet of true democracy.
We've got to know whether or not.
From the brave reporting of the Watergate scandal, which led to the resignation of a US president, to more recent revelations which have shaken governments, the Fourth Estate has served to hold to account to society their rulers and their wrongs. Globally, the free media plays a major role in providing a platform for investigative journalists and serves to protect them while delivering their message to the people.
Fundamentally, the freedom of the press and freedom of opinion is a very important pillar of democracy, and it varies throughout the world from democratic countries to dictatorial totalitarian countries. There is, as you know, a West World Press Freedom Index. Sri Lanka comes as 162. The last is 179, where Eritrea from Africa comes. So we have a long way to go before we can be amongst the countries that maintain press freedom.
In Sri Lanka, investigative journalists have attracted the ire of those who would seek to abuse their powers on countless occasions. From threats to assassinations, this open flouting of democratic principles has caused many to go into exile.
As with all cases in Sri Lanka, such as corruption and bribery, our laws are in fact very good laws, they're robust laws. The problem is in the implementation. So there are a number of compromises that people make on press freedom, which unfortunately affects the people, because the people are not being told the truth. And the truth is what makes people free.